It's the month of March, the month the Super Falcons of Nigeria begin their bid to claim an unprecedented 11th African title. And the big question is, can they do that? Well, I would say only time will tell. Welcome. The show is Sports Roll, coming your way on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Bade Adeleye. As always, we're reaching you from the Moshood Abiola National Stadium here in Abuja. I call it Mansa. And on the road today, we bring to you all you need to know coming from the camp of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, who are locked in when it comes to 2-in-1 friendly against the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon. One down, one more to go. And evidently, we'll talk about leaks in Nigeria and other parts of the world not leaving out reports of special interest. Yes, we've got them. And also we touch on cricket and overall sports developments in the country. That tells you it's a loaded package today. As always, and don't go nowhere, the show returns shortly. Quite interesting. Let's begin straight away from the cricket oval. As Abuja was busy, quite busy last weekend when it comes to cricket activities, as we had the finals when it comes to the regional under-17 cricket championship, talking about North Central. And of course, winners have emerged. And Ochembede will be telling us about that.
5 states in the male category and 3 in the female category battle for honors, producing exciting matches that showcase some of the region's brightest young cricket talents. The competition, which was fierce across both divisions, saw teams fought for zonal supremacy. In the final matches played on Sunday, in the male category, FCT defeated Kwara State by 7 wickets, while Niger State recorded a commanding 114 runs victory over Plateau State to emerge overall champions of the zone. In the female category, which featured 3 states competing in the best-of-3 series, Kogi State claimed bragging rights after sealing victory by 69 runs to dominate the zone.
Our bowling was good, our batting, we did very well in all aspects of the game.
This is our 3rd year winning it three times in a row. So I just thought, we just feel like it's the energy from the last year championship.
One of the major highlights of the competition was the presentation of medals and individual awards to outstanding performance. In the male category, Adamu Abdurrahman was named the best batter. Jamil Yanush clinched the Best Bowler Award, while Isaiah Onyiwole emerged as the most valuable player. In the female category, Usaina Saliu won the Best Batter Award. Kamiluddin Ayinke was named Best Bowler, and Asana claimed the Most Valuable Player honor.
It's a fair performance, but honestly, there's room for improvement. And we are going to go back to the drawing boards and make sure we improve our play.
Attention now shifts to the National Under-17 Championship scheduled to take place later this month in Abuja, Oche Ngbede, NTA Sport.
Congratulations to the champions. Now, let's move away from the oval and straight to the football pitch. And this time, we're turning our attention to the senior women's national team, the Super Falcons, 10-time African champions. And evidently, if you know the drill, it is time for today's edition of the MTN Super Falcons show, where we go behind the scenes to bring to you all you need to know about the team. And as always, Osereme Negbenebo is standing by to be our anchor. Osereme, take it away.
Today, March 3rd, Coach Justin Madugu will once again file out with the Super Falcons of Nigeria as they take on the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in the second part of the international friendlies as preparations for the 2026 Wafcon heat up. This is the MTN Super Falcons show. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mamas and papas. Welcome aboard a new episode of the MTN Super Falcons show. My name is Osereme Inekbenebo, and as I always say, I will be your host on this jolly good ride. Now, this show is proudly brought to you by the #1 telecommunications giant, MTN. This is your one-stop shop for all things Super Falcons, bringing you content from off and on the pitch, and today promises to be no exception. Now, as we all know, Wafcon is the talk of town at the moment. Wafcon, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 14th edition, is scheduled to take place in Morocco from March 17th all the way to April 3rd. Now, we have a few returnees on the Super Falcons squad. We have players who didn't make it to the last Wafcon fighting for their spot in this edition. We have a few returnees like Monday Gift, Glory Ogbonna, Chidima Okeke, to mention a few. And of course, some other new faces fighting for their spot at this year's Women's Africa Cup of Nations. We bring you all of that and all the download that we have for you right here on the show today, right after this break. Just stay with us.
Just imagine walking into a full 80 to 90,000 stadium capacity with all eyeballs on you. The feeling you've been waiting for. You are now like a Michael Jackson on stage. You're a star. And this is the moment. Your 15 seconds, 10 seconds moment to shine. To deliver that God-given talent, to deliver those 4 to 6 hours a day training. Once that moment comes, go through those emotions, but at the end of the day, love it, live it, and deliver. This is MTN Champs Season 4. To register, log on to mtnchamps.com.
Gravity pulls you straight down. 6, 7. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should go first, see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down.
This, of course, is the Hilton Hotel in Yaoundé, and that is where our Super Falcons are staying. And as you saw earlier, Coach Justin Madugu was taking the girls through their paces. There's a lot of work going in for these Women Africa Cup of Nations title. This particular title is the 11th title, as you know, and of course, a ticket to the FIFA Women's World Cup. Our girls are not sleeping, they are not smiling, and they are not playing. I'll remind you that the Women's Africa Cup of Nations is scheduled to take place from March 17th to April 3rd, and our girls are in Group C, and they will take on Zambia, Egypt, and of course Malawi, while the Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon, who they're playing a friendly with at the Military Stadium today in Yaoundé, are in Group D, and they're taking on Ghana, Mali, and debutant Cape Verde. It promises to be a beautiful encounter, I can already tell. Now, speaking of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, our girls, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, are the defending champions. That is, I don't want to say it's a load, but there's a lot on their shoulders. Do you think that they can defend that title? I do, but I'd love to know what you think. Let us know on social media. The handles to follow and comment are at MTNNG on Instagram and X, MTN Nigeria on Facebook and YouTube, and of course our very own pages across all social media platforms, Super Falcon Show. Let us know what you think about our girls. I'll be in the comment section. Let me know the believers and the non-believers. But of course, the first part of the friendly was played last Saturday, and it was beautiful. Let's take you to the sights and sounds and see how that game went down.
Maroc. Et bien sûr, c'est le match aller indomptable.
Heartbeats are high, feel passions fly. We take up wings and touch the sky. Come rain, come shine. We go dey carry go. Come rain, come shine. We go dey carry go. We go dey carry go. We go dey carry go.
MTN, proud supporters of Nigerian football.
That, of course, was a beautiful performance by the Super Falcons of Nigeria. As you know, our girls will always perform amazingly well. Beautiful, beautiful practice, beautiful, friendly, leading up to the Wafcon. Wafcon no be joke, and I know that their efforts will be rewarded because our girls are putting in the work. Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon, I have nothing to say. But we'll see you at Wafcon. But before we see them at Wafcon, today the second leg of the international friendlies takes place at the same venue, the military stadium in Yaoundé. So make sure you support our girls, watch the game, go on X, talk about the game. We'll love to see the bands. And that's the much that we can take for today on the MTN Super Falcons show. I hope you've had an amazing time keeping it locked here with me in the studio. As I said, go across all social media platforms and we'd love to hear from you. Would love to hear, do you know whether or not the Super Falcons of Nigeria can defend their title? I'm not alone in the studio. I've got the guys behind the scenes making things happen. My producer, Tayo Gunsheye, Big Jimmy, and of course, Bade Adeleye. And together, we make the Four Musketeers. If you're just joining us, this is the till end. You can always catch a recap of the show on MTN's Ayoba app. But remember not to forget that this show airs at 9 a.m. every Tuesday on NTA. So from me, myself, and I, and MTN, and of course, the crew, we'll see you in the very next episode. Toodles!
You're still watching Sports Reel on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Now, let's turn our attention to league football, starting with the Nigeria Premier Football League. And it's beautiful to see interesting results last weekend, talking about match day 28. And of course, it ended on Monday with the match involving, Barao FC and their opponents. Now, let's begin from, Saturday. Interesting to see the two matches, the Battle of the Warriors, ended in favor of El Kanemi, who got that needed, win over Abia Warriors. And of course, we saw the other game with Kwara United also defeating, their opponents, Wiki Tourist. Interesting to see. And evidently, on Sunday, 7 more matches were decided, with Remo Stars returning to win ways after defeating Katsina United. 3SC defeated Kano Pillars. Rangers got the needed win over Nasarawa United. And of course, Rivers United lost away to Bayelsa. With that, we have changes when it comes to the league log. Ikorodu City lost heavily to Bentel Insurance, and of course they find themselves third on the log now, with Rangers International now first and Rivers United are second. Quite interesting to see what's happening in the Nigeria Premier Football League this season. Quite interesting, and of course away from the Npfl now, let's take a look at how Nigerian stars did, in other parts of the world just last weekend. Trust Victor Osimhen, another goal and an assist, and of course for Paul Onuachu also delivered, getting the goals and not leaving out his compatriot Chibuike Nwawiu. Interesting to see what they did in Turkey. In England, come on, Alex Iwobi with that slick goal. Quite beautiful to see, and of course Nigerians doing so well in other parts of the world. Also, let's give it to Terry Murphy, who got his first goal for FC Porto. Quite beautiful to see, and other Nigerian stars that did well last weekend. And evidently we got results. Lots of results in the Premier League to other top leagues in the world. So let's quickly update you when it comes to that. I know we already have the pairings too for the next round of the UEFA Champions League, the Europa League, and evidently the Conference League. And also some matches are coming up midweek. Let's get to see them all. All right, one of the things we've seen recently, especially in the English Premier League, is how Manchester United have been able to do it, being on a winning streak and unbeaten in the Premier League this year. What is happening in Manchester United? Talking about Old Trafford. Let's get to find out in this report that I filed in. For a club that once dominated English and European football under the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson, the past decade has been turbulent. Managerial changes, inconsistent recruitment, and fluctuating performances turned one of football's most feared institutions into a side struggling for stability. And that is the story of Manchester United. But recent weeks have told a different story. Under Michael Carrick, United have shown improved tactical discipline, quicker transitions, and greater defensive organization. The team appears more compact. The midfield looks more balanced, and perhaps most importantly, the players look confident again. Carrick, a former United midfielder known for his intelligence and composure on the ball, has brought a calm presence to the dugout. His approach has emphasized structure over chaos, controlled build-up play, smarter pressing triggers, and clearer roles for key players. The transformation may not be dramatic, but it is noticeable.
His action, his input, the way he relates with the players, they are free to play any style of their type, unlike our former coach, which is Amorim. Who say that his own decision that will work without hearing from the players itself.
I think there's a teamwork working for them, and that's why you see the improvement in the league. They were not together when they started the league. There was no team spirit.
Certain players have flourished under the new system, Once inconsistent performers are now rediscovering form, while younger talents are being trusted in crucial moments. There is also renewed energy at Old Trafford, a stadium that has witnessed both glory and frustration in recent seasons. The supporters, long starved of sustained progress, are beginning to believe again.
Kevin Mino is striving. He's really thriving under the leadership of Michael Carey. So Kobe Mino I think Kobe Mino is the one of player that is so mostly happy. Bruno Fernandes is also in the list, and the likes of Amad Diallo, the African boy, our own brother. So I think these few players, they are very happy with the kind of philosophy that Michael Carrick is putting on.
However, questions remain. Can this resurgence be sustained against top-tier opposition? Is the squad depth strong enough to compete across competitions? And perhaps, most significantly, is Marco Carrick the long-term solution?
What I see in Michael Carrick is not by either is a serious coach that the flexibility that he brought to the team. I think that is the only thing that can move. We don't need any PhD holder or any professional coach that will come. All we want is flexibility with the players, knowing what the player wants, not what you want the player to do.
For now, though, the signs are encouraging. Manchester United are playing with clearer intent. They are grinding out results and they are rebuilding confidence one match at a time.
He has performed well for these 2 or 3 seasons. They play good ball and they deliver. So let's give him more time. And I believe the man will do well. So there's nothing about this.
Whether this marks the start of a sustained renaissance or merely a temporary spark will depend on consistency, resilience, and long-term planning. But for the first time in a while, there is genuine optimism around Manchester United. All right. Last Saturday, the training pitch of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium was quite busy as Lotswol Academy Abuja had their inter-house sports competition. And Francisca Bile was there to capture everything. Francisca, it's over to you.
The 12th edition of the Lotswol Academy Inter-House Sports Competition witnessed an avalanche of sporting activities. This year's event began with a colorful parade of 4 houses, including the Blue House, Green House, Red House, Yellow House, and the newly introduced White House. The match-past competition immediately took center stage, with each house competing for top honors. With the ceremonial segment concluded, attention shifted to the competitive track and field events. One of the early highlights was the sleepers race by the preschool pupils, also known as the White House. The competition featured the 100 meters, 200 meters, and the 4x100 meters relay races, including events for invited schools. London. Other activities included picking the ball, catching the bus, egg race, sack race, with parents and staff actively participating in the fun. At the end of the competition, it was time for awards presentation. Red House emerged overall champions for the first time in 4 years, with a total of 176 points. Yellow House finished second with 173 points, while Blue House secured third place with 156 points.
In my heart, I was just wishing that our house is not serious, we may get last, but I don't know God with this, we get first.
It's like a dream. It didn't just happen overnight. The kids put in their best.
So with these kind of things, it will take them off the streets, it will take them off such vices. The performance of children has been good. Inter-house is not really for trophies and medals. It's about talent.
The sleepers race was my favorite because one, the performances was funny.
As chairman of the occasion, the general manager of NTA Sports 24, Bade Adeleye, was deeply impressed by the level of talent and sportsmanship on display. He challenged the participants to embrace sports, whether as future athletes or as a foundation for discipline and teamwork, in whatever career path they choose.
It was wonderful. I think we have future athletes, the future runners who can actually, if well groomed, can take Nigeria to a world stage.
The highlight of the celebration was the cutting of the cake to mark the school's 12th year. With this year's successful outing concluded, the school management expressed confidence that next year's competition will surpass the achievements recorded at this edition of Inter-House Sports Competition. In Abuja, Francis Kabile, NTA Sports.
All right, with that, we're done on the show today. As always, I want to thank you for hanging out with us. And do remember that you can always get unlimited sports content and live matches, especially in the top leagues in Europe on NT Sports 24, which is available for you 24/7 on StarTimes channel 270. And of course, using the free TV app, you can also get NT Sports. So download it and always watch us live. That's the show for today. Thanks so much. And of course, I will always remind you to always be yourself and never put yourself into any form of trouble because you don't need it for anything. I am Bade Adeleye, and I will see you next time.